Yeah, it's my favorite day of the week. It's my favorite day of the week, Thursday. Lunch and News with DotSale. Let's get into it. Yeah! How's it going, y'all? Man, we almost at the end of the week. I know I starved y'all earlier. I'm making up for it. I got y'all. I absolutely got y'all. You know I'm gonna take care of y'all. I consider y'all family. I absolutely consider y'all family. That's why I put these shows together for us as a collective. And our family continues to grow. You know, like, we had a lot less subscribers. We had a lot less views when we first started these lives. And, you know, it's creeping up. And I know it's a grind. It's going to take some time. I'm not expecting overnight success. I don't even want it like that. I want to be able to look back at the journey and say, wow, we came a long way. You know, that's what I want. All the ups and downs, all the sad nights, all the happy nights. You know, I want all of it. I don't want anything fast. I want to work for everything that I get. And I cut my hair. I used to have long, wavy locks. I look like Jesus. I was what they described as Jesus. Hold on, let me get off black and I'm gonna feed y'all in 1 second. Let me get off black and white. This is the color skin they said Jesus had. Bronze, gold undertone. Huh? And I had the long swooping. I still got the hairline still. I didn't cut it off because I had to. It's because I want the hairline's there. The hairline's still there. I gotta show, cause y'all think like I got the bald. I ain't got the bald. I ain't got the George Jefferson right. Like, all the hair is still intact. You know, it's thick and it's luscious. But I was like, you know what? Let me chop it off. I need to switch it up a little bit. So I did it like that. And, you know, here we are. That's just the intro. We just talking right now because we got a lot we got to get into. We're going to jump right back into the Uber situation. I got y'all. I told y'all we're going to do a part 2 to the Uber. We're going to pick up where we left off yesterday. We got a little more time. I got some time. It's dinner now. It's dinner time. We got some time. When I got time, man, look, it's going to be it's the situation. I'm the most underrated YouTuber ever. Let's get into lunch. What do we got? Let me get y'all fed real quick. I'll make sure y'all fed. This is, look, and honestly, I enjoy doing this for y'all. Let me take y'all to this YouTuber right here, Janine or G9. I don't know, it might be Janine. I seen her channel. I wanted to have something a little more like filling, you know, for dinner. So we're going with spaghetti. I don't think I can pronounce, or I can't understand the words she say, but it looked like she can cook pretty good. So we putting her on. Her channel name is Janine TV.
Abari mu bibazo ndabaremesheje mwihangane ejo bizogenda neza. Kandi murashima Imana, Imana idusaba gushima muri byose uko biri kose. Imana iyaguhebye izokugirira neza, ibibazo urimwo yizere izobigukuramo. No, genda ndashima Imana rero. N'umunsi kwa Janine TV no guteka.
I need a translator, please. I need a little bit of help.
Spaghetti originale ukayateka naturel nyine neza abana bakarya bakaryoherwa. Reka imbere yo gutangura kubereka ibyo.
I can't tell if she high, hungry. I don't know what's going on, but she got like a really monotone type that it could be cultural. She kind of got the hair like mine. She got the little afro going on. I like her. I like this woman, all right? Let's go ahead and skip up to the meal, though. I want to give her an intro. Toes is out. Toes, she got the white. Oh, okay, hold on. See, y'all might have thought that she was broke. Y'all looking at the kitchen and y'all seeing the, but I want to show y'all something real quick. You see her sandals right there. It looks like YSL. Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent. Matter of fact, hold on real quick. Let me play this. Is the sandals matching the toes, or is the toes matching the sandals? I don't know. That YouTube money's kicking in. Hey, cause she's not. Look, she got subs. She got 144K. Matter of fact, we're gonna subscribe to her right now. We're gonna give her a like. We're gonna subscribe. Help her with the algorithm, the algorithm. She ain't got, hey, listen, and this is how you can know. If you got good content, you're good. You don't even got to worry about all of the extra stuff. Look at the comments. You see the comments, they all in her native tongue. A lot of hearts, a lot of love. Let me see if I can translate one of these. Let's see this one. Where did you cook them wrong, Musabi? Show us the rest of you cooking them wrong. Huh? Dang, they attacked her. Oh, let me see something. What's going on? Are they hate watching? Garlic is good to grind and add to the cooked food to retain its nutrients and flavor. Should be added, and carrots. All right, seemed all right. Like they're giving her pointers. Ain't she supposed to be teaching us? How do you measure the water to cook spaghetti? What? Hold on, let me see something. Let me get one more. This is a long one. Let's see what this person says. And it is very good if you first make sauce well and put all the ingredients in it. Then you pour your hot water and mix it, and then you can put your spaghetti in and mix and then cover it. It seems like people are a little more critical of her than you would think. She got 144K subscribers, so she's doing something right. And she ain't even got no good production like that. Like, she literally is just like, you know what? This is what y'all have. This is what we having. Go ahead. You got a whole plate of this spaghetti. Eat up. You can have as much as you want. I'm going to have my plate a little bit later. Or maybe not at all. But this is what we got. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the shoe. Let's get to the show. Help yourself to it. What is this on the side? I don't know. This is a weird one. It's a weird meal. If y'all want to have something else, if y'all want to order takeout or something, I ain't going to be mad at you. I can't argue with y'all on that one. I picked a strange meal right there. I wanted to give y'all something that was like, you know, just like culturally, like it's from.
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Uber, Lyft, rideshare. We talked about it yesterday. If you didn't catch yesterday's show, it's definitely one you want to go back and check out and refresh yourself on. For sure. Because it leads into what we're going to talk about now, and you missed a lot of we talked about a lot of the violence where people were meeting their untimely demise. We had a very strange case at the end, which I'm not going to go over again, but, you know, a woman basically clipped an Uber driver, and then before she could even face trial, ended up getting clipped herself. It's a lot going on in the land of rideshare, and we're going to cover a lot more of it. I got a game for us today. We're going to play a TikTok game. Shout out to all the TikTokers. All the people that like TikTok, we're going to play a TikTok game today. And we'll get to that in a little bit. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. We're going to go back to where we left off yesterday. We were talking about because all of this started. Okay, I'll show you where it started at. This is where it started at. Okay. I want to get that on there. All right, y'all good. We'll go right here. This is where it started at. Because I got this email and I seen this strange email from Uber, and they basically said they're going to start taking cash on the Uber app. When I seen that, I said, you know what? We got to talk about Uber and see what's going on, because this is probably one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen made. And the reason why is because Uber and Lyft, I'll just say Uber, but when I say that, I mean all of the new modern rideshare, was good because they eliminated cash out of it. Made everything a lot easier. The pricing is up front. They didn't take away the upfront pricing. But a lot of times when you take a cab or a taxi, back in the day, before the apps became a thing, you never knew exactly what you'd be paying. They could give you an estimate, but it was never going to be certain. And it usually was going to be over what they estimated. Say that ride should be about 25. When you get done, it's usually around 35. Now, with apps like Uber and Lyft and others, you get to put in your starting point, your ending point, and they tell you exactly how much it's going to cost down to the penny. And I think that was a good idea. But that's about where it began to, that's where it stopped at. Because Ubers went through so much. Strikes, unfair pay. At one point, California tried to force them to make Uber drivers actual employees so they could start to get benefits, health insurance, and all that stuff. That fell through. Still independent contractors. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot. I mean, you can see this. I won't read over it again. I know y'all love when I read to you, but I read this yesterday. You got to be regular on the shows, and then you'll know what's going on, because I'll reference old shows. I do every show like it's a brand new show, but this is a part 2. So the part 2 is here. But the gist of it, the net of it, is that Uber is now accepting cash payments. And I guess the weirdest part about it is going to be 3 right here. So I'll read you 3. I'll get you caught up with 3. You'll see the cost of the ride up front, and we'll need to make sure you have enough to cover the fare. It's recommended to bring smaller bills to pay with cash. Drivers will decide whether or not to carry cash as change. Uber will add any change owed to your Uber account as Uber Cash after the trip ends to use on your next Uber Eats order or ride. So go ahead and get your money invested in the Uber ecosystem. I would never order food from Uber Eats. I think Uber Eats is a very poor service, but we're going to stick to the rideshare part of it because that's the main thing about it. At the end of the trip, you'll hand the driver cash directly. There's an issue. Please don't dispute fares with drivers. Instead, reach out to Uber support and we'll handle it. So that's the gist of it. We'll talk about this a little bit more as we go through, but that's what sparked this whole conversation for me. Many people aren't talking about this right now, if any. And so we do things a little bit different over here with Lunch and News with DotSale. We don't necessarily always follow the trends. We kind of come up with our own path and niche. So that's where we're at. So we're going to go into the story where we left off at, and we're going to discuss all this as we go through the live stream. And also, remember, I have the game. I have the TikTok game. We will get to that at some point. That's going to be really fun. I'll give you a hint to what the game's going to be. We're going to randomly pick different stories because I love to hear from the people. I like going through the news stories and figuring all that out, but I like to hear from the people that are actually living this. And I want to hear some stories from them and look at some actual accounts from Uber drivers that have been assaulted, maimed, and taken advantage of by riders. So we're going to get it from the ground floor, and we're going to do that randomly on TikTok. It's going to be super fun. For now, though, let's finish up where we left off, and then I want to go into the 3 other topics that I had. Where were we at? Oh, yeah, this one sucked. It's got to be spoke about, though. Let's get into it.
Terrors in Afghanistan. He came to the U.S. for a better life. 2 years later, Nasrat Ahmad was gunned down in D.C. while working to support his family. Tonight, police have now arrested one of the suspects, a 15-year-old. Our John Rogers is live in the studio. John, you spoke briefly with Yar's family. How are they feeling about this arrest?
Yeah, Scott, they tell me they're relieved because it's been very difficult for the family since he's been gone. A 15-year-old boy, as you mentioned, now behind bars, charged with first-degree murder, but the family hopes justice is served and the other suspects in this case are caught. 31-year-old Nasrat Ahmad spent roughly 10 years serving this country before calling it home. He was an interpreter in Afghanistan for the U.S. Army Special Forces, and after the government collapsed, he and his family settled in Alexandria. But on midnight July 3rd, he was driving for Lyft when several young suspects allegedly tried to take his car. One of the suspects fired shots, killing him before taking off. Today, one of those suspects was arrested.
And he was a man starting out in the United States. He served the country.
The reckless actions of these teens cost a man's life and shattered a family just starting out on their journey in this country.
A 15-year-old boy is now facing a murder charge. It's not yet clear if he will be charged as an adult. Last year, Yar's cousin, Mohammed Ahmadi, said family members in Afghanistan were stunned and in disbelief.
People's are in shock in my country, the whole families, everyone's friends, and nobody believe it when we say that happens in Washington, D.C.
The work is not done here. D.C. police, they say there are several suspects involved in Yar's murder. So if you have any information to help in this case.
This one's a sad one because, it kind of shows that everybody can be touched. And the reason that we know that is because this person right here, by all accounts, should be very aware of his surroundings. He should be very strategic in the way that he operates in the streets. And from a tactical aspect, he should really understand what's going on. For him to be taken out just says that anybody doing rideshare, even if you're the most alert of us all, can end up being capped by teenagers that allegedly wanted to take your car, but really just killed you and then ran off on foot. They were able to catch the suspect that is 15 years old. This soldier right here will never come back. But it's almost 100% the case that the 15-year-old arrested, that they're not even sure they're going to try as an adult, will be back on the streets at some point in the future. I would say within the next 20 to 30 years max, he'll be back on the streets. As an old man, more than likely, but possibly not. Possibly not. At 15 years old, he could be out in 10, 8. They don't charge him as an adult, maybe even sooner than that. Let's get a rest in peace for this Uber driver. I wonder if Uber did anything for the family. That's what we didn't hear. These rideshare companies do not care about the people that drive for them. I've done rideshare before, many rides actually. It's been a while since I've done one. I stopped long ago. Still got the app active. Which is the reason why I know a lot about this subject. I was telling a story about, I got to get back into it. I'll get back into it. I was talking to, I promised that I'll get y'all the story about the picking people up from the casino and how it's usually not a good ride to take. Dropping them off there, probably not that bad. And we were talking about that because the one woman that was getting brought to the casino that killed the guy because he took a different path and she thought she was being kidnapped and she killed him. Some very, very strange situations that go on in rideshare.
Some breaking news out of South Houston where a rideshare driver was shot and killed overnight.
It happened in the South Union neighborhood, which is just south of downtown. That's where we find our Devon Raming, who's live at the scene for us this morning. Devon, what more are you learning about how this all started?
Well, Steph and Ron, good morning. The scene here off of Ward Street has cleared, but what has not cleared is the debris that's in the middle of the street just down the way there that was pulled from the victim's car moments before the suspects in this case drove off with his car. We're told by Houston police that the rideshare driver was shot multiple times, but somehow he was able to call police to report what happened moments before he died. Now, Houston police tell us this all happened around 2 o'clock this morning, and it's unclear if the rideshare driver was working for Uber or Lyft, but they say he was here on Ward Street when two black men ran up on him with a gun, pulled him out of his black Hyundai Sonata, and shot him multiple times before driving away in his car. The car was then ditched and found roughly 8 blocks away on a dead-end street with the suspects nowhere to be found.
This is not the first incident of an Uber or Lyft driver being carjacked in this area, and they're saying that there were several within the last month, drivers that have been carjacked. Fortunately, they lived, but not our individual today.
The driver in this case, we're told, was in his late 20s and was actually transported to the hospital, but was pronounced dead once they arrive. And again, right now, no arrests have been made, but Houston police are urging rideshare drivers, people who drive for Uber and Lyft, to be extra vigilant and extra cautious, as we've seen an uptick in carjacking cases when it comes to rideshare drivers here in our area. We're going to have much more on that aspect of things coming up at 6:30. Live in South Houston, Devon Raming, KHOU 11 News.
It's been nearly 2 years since Daniel Piedra, an Uber driver, was shot and
income, accrued 16, pre-tax, significant one-time benefits, revenue, income. All right, let's see. All right, let me pull this over for y'all real quick. I want to keep that up there. Let's go back here.
Here off of Ward, all happened around 2.
Do we got the picture of? All right, we'll leave it right there. Let's go right there. All right. Let's pull this up right here. All right, let's go here. Let's check this out real quick. I was wondering how much Uber made. So we went 2024. Uber reported a net income of $9.86 billion in 2024 alone. Key financial figures for 2024. Net income, $9.86 billion. I guess it includes some type of benefits that they got. I guess they got an influx of cash from something. Their revenue was $43.98 billion So it's saying they got 4 billion at minimum. Okay, so they got 9 billion in 2024. That was their profits. That was their profits. Okay. I just want to check that out real quick. I just was wondering because what I never hear from any of these stories, somebody gets destroyed on your platform, has their life taken, and you ain't got nothing for the families of the victims. Y'all pay for the funeral, like anything. You gonna pay them for the ride that didn't get completed? These rideshare companies don't care about y'all. They don't care about us as people at all. Let me see if I can get this guy's name real quick. Matter of fact, let's go back here. We got his name, right? What was his name? Let me see if I can get his name real quick. Former, let me see. Do we got his name? Let me see if we can find his name.
In D.C. while working to support his family. Tonight, police, Nasrat Ahmad Yar was gunned down 2 years later. Nasrat Ahmad Yar.
Nasrat Ahmad Yar. All right, I'm gonna see if that'll come up. It's pretty hard to pronounce. Let's see. Let's do it like this. I'll do it like this. I want to see something. See if we can find Nasr. All right, let's go one more time.
Was gunned down in Afghanistan. He came to the U.S. for a better life. 2 years later, Nasrat Ahmad Yar was gunned.
Nasrat Ahmad Yar. All right, let's see if I can do this. Nasrat Ahmad Yar. I don't know why they didn't put his name. I mean, y'all gotta help me. I can't. Ooh, that might be it. Okay, hold on. Response from Uber. Let's see. Afghan interpreter. Okay. All right, I got something right here. All right, let's check it out real quick. Okay. This what they're saying right here. I want to see what Uber's talking about. Okay, so Uber's response to the death of an Afghan interpreter was initially limited to expressing condolences and stating the driver was offline at the time of the shooting. Okay. However, the family and press have disputed this, arguing that offline on the app does not mean he wasn't working, that he was in the process of working for the company. This sparked a debate over the definition of working in the gig economy. Wow, that's messed up. Uber stated the driver, Ahmed Yar, why does it seem like he said a whole different name, appeared offline when he was killed and had last completed a trip the previous night. The company offered condolences to the family. So Uber ain't taking no accountability. They didn't even recognize him as a driver for Uber. Uber didn't even recognize him as a driver. So when you do rideshare, right? When you're actually on a trip, which is a short time, because you could be on the app and you could be online, but you might not have an active ride. You might have to wait 10, 15, 20 minutes for a ride to appear. But during that time, you're technically on the clock. You're on call, right? Second a ride comes up you want to take, hit accept, you're on the ride. The majority of the time could be dead time, especially around the time that you're driving or the area. If you're in a more desolate area, you know, the rides aren't coming in as frequent. If you're in the city, you know, the rides are going to come in a lot more. Now, as far as we know, the news tied him to being an Uber driver and not just to being an Afghan interpreter. But then Uber came out immediately to try to say, well, the last time he did a ride was yesterday, so he's not really an Uber driver at all. He just did a ride yesterday and he was out. He got a whole family. Why else would he be out if he wasn't driving Uber? The wife, nobody said he was cheating. Nobody said he was a drunk that goes to the bar every night. Why the hell else would he be out in the middle of the night if not for driving Uber to support his family? Then Uber comes out and basically shrugs the guy off, brushes him off his shoulders. Y'all made $9.8 billion. You could have threw his family something, at least to hold him over for a year. They got nothing. And Uber will tell you it's safe on Uber. This barely happens. Well, if that's the case, if somebody dies that is a driver that has driven for you significantly within the last couple of months and they die while driving, why not take care of them? If the violence doesn't happen very often, I would assume that it wouldn't be a dent to your pockets to pay out $1 million here, $1 million there. The violence never really happened, so you're fine. I think it's disgusting. All right. I want to move into another topic of this. And we're going to get to the TikTok game very soon. I think we'll do two more. We're gonna level it down a little bit. We're not gonna talk about the extremes anymore as far as people losing their lives like the soldier. And we're gonna go ahead and just talk about the part of it where the cash begins to be a problem. Because as far as we know, the people that we just heard from, I mean, they were just ruthless killers that just wanted to target Uber and Lyft drivers for whatever reason. But these people that we're about to show are motivated by money specifically. And this is where it starts to get crazy because, again, now Uber's accepting cash. And before Uber and Lyft were accepting cash, they were still getting jacked for money. You say, how was that? I'm going to show you right here with this story. Lyft driver carjacked at gunpoint and forced to send money on Cash App. Let's get into it. It's crazy.
Terrifying time for a Lyft driver after she was carjacked, and tonight 18-year-old Tyrus Ernest is facing charges. WRG's Shay Arthur spoke with the victim about her experience and the strange thing that she says Ernest told her during the crime.
Tonight, a mother of two is recovering.
Constantly hear his voice in my head replaying over and over.
Left terrified, she's sharing her story. But due to safety concerns, we've altered her voice and aren't showing her face. She tells us she was driving for Lyft around 8:30 Sunday night. She was off Mississippi Boulevard when a man police now identify as 18-year-old Tyrus Ernest, riding in her car, pulled a gun on her, demanding money and her car, at one point cocking the gun and threatening her.
I just want to make it home to my kids. Please let me just go.
But before letting her go, she says he talked about himself and what he's been through.
Said that he wasn't always like that. He was held at gunpoint before, he was robbed and carjacked, and it traumatized him.
Driving for Lyft for the last 6 years, this woman says she's never had any problems. The extra money helps her family stay afloat. But now she's left too traumatized to continue. But she's glad to be alive.
And that's where I am grateful and thankful that I was able to walk away alive. But it just seems like that's when I break down more, thinking that I was lucky. Some people aren't.
She says she will move on with her life, but has this advice for others when using a rideshare company.
Be vigilant and cautious.
In South Memphis, Shay Arthur, WREG, News Channel 3.
Now, a spokesperson with Lyft told us in a statement the behavior described is unacceptable and has no place in our community. The rider has been permanently removed from the Lyft platform. We have been in touch with the driver, and we stand ready to assist law enforcement with their investigation.
Yeah.
Demanding money and her car. At one point, his 18-year-old Tyrus Ernest, riding in her car, pulled a gun on her, demanding money and her car. At one point, cocking the gun and threatening her. Demanding money.
We'll just leave him right here. We'll just leave Tyrus Ernest right here. So you got Tyrus Ernest. He gets into the car, and I ain't gonna lie, like some of these jobs, look, man, y'all women gotta be careful, man. Because criminals like this, they're gonna go for the easiest target. Now, there are some anomalies because the other kids that look similar to this guy did take out a veteran that was a soldier. He was an interpreter, but he was still in the army. So, you know, when you think about it, anybody can be got. But we are seeing a lot more violence on women. And we've covered this before. We talked about the pizza delivery people being robbed. If you go back to some of those stories we've talked about on the channel, and they almost always targeted the women drivers, which are a smaller percentage, so it's a lot harder to even find them. But for some reason, they can seek them out. Now, this woman was able to get away with her life, and we will not look at any more of the people that lost their lives doing Uber, but we've already covered that extensively yesterday and a little bit today, just to show you how deep it gets. And I had probably about 40 stories I could have pulled up as far as people losing their lives as drivers on the platform. And even the customers, even the riders have lost their lives on the platform. And it's more prevalent than the rideshare people make it seem. All right, now, you see it here. This guy was trying to rob her and then force her to open her Cash App and send her the money, which just shows how dumb this dude is. Complete idiot. You gonna pull a gun on somebody and then leave a electronic trail that leads right back to you? He'd have been caught within a couple days, and he was caught anyways. Now Uber is bringing cash into the mix. Now these people right here are gonna realize that Uber drivers got cash on them. And then you're going to go into the TOS and you're going to say, can Uber drivers carry weapons? Well, no. No, they can't. And that puts you at a severe disadvantage. I got it right here, y'all. I told y'all this yesterday, but we're going to pull it up real quick.
A 17-year-old is being charged.
Now, we're going to get to that in 1 second. I just want y'all to understand exactly what's going on, how crazy this platform is, and how messed up it is for the people that drive on it. This is what Uber's telling you. We just watched numerous people be clipped by people with guns, and you can't even defend yourself. Not to mention, you're going to be in a disadvantage. If anybody knows anything about law enforcement, I've had the opportunity and the privilege to be close to people that are in law enforcement and be able to have significant conversations with them. And one of the things that they do not want is to be in a vulnerable position. So they don't want people being on their driver's side door, I guess anywhere around their car, and they're sitting in their vehicle, because tactically they're at a severe disadvantage. It's one of the reasons, and part of the reason, that when they pull you over, they want you to stay in the vehicle seated. They never tell you to, even when you're a threat. I mean, sometimes when you're a threat, they tell you to get out or whatever. But even at that point, you know, when they pull you over, they don't want you just hopping out the car, free to move, because in that position, you're in a more vulnerable position than they are. So right here, you see it. No, Uber drivers are not permitted to carry firearms while using the app. Uber's policy prohibits drivers and passengers from carrying firearms to enhance safety. Drivers who violate this policy risk account deactivation. I want you to look at that last line. We'll highlight that one too. You don't got to explain it. I can explain it. I appreciate the help, Google. They are highlighting that the drivers will be deactivated. But what about the passengers? Doesn't matter. You deactivate the passenger, they start up a new account. Just like that. It's like creating a Gmail. You can create, you got to, everybody, mostly everybody has an email, probably a Gmail. Before I speak 200 more words, which I will, y'all can have another Gmail account set up. That's how easy it is to create an Uber app as a rider. You can't carry a firearm while you're driving, or else you risk termination. Now, I would say anybody that followed these rules, assuming that you have a concealed carry permit, would be foolish. But again, if this is what you use to feed your family and you are worried, which a lot of people are worried, and they follow the rules, even to their own disadvantage, it's very likely that a lot of people follow this.
Charged as an adult after police say he robbed an Uber driver and shot in his direction. Happened about a year ago at a hotel on Indy's far north side.
Fox 59's Scarlett O'Hara shows us the way police were able to link the suspect to the case.
An Uber driver was waiting to pick up a passenger outside this Homewood Suites hotel last year when instead, court documents say, he was approached by someone with a gun. That driver told police the suspect was wearing surgical gloves as he demanded, quote, "Give me everything in your car," on November 2nd, 2023. Court documents say he handed over his wallet and followed the suspect as he ran toward another nearby hotel when the suspect turned around and fired a shot in his direction.
It's hard to say what somebody's going to do in a certain situation or how one could essentially get away from a dangerous encounter. But be aware of your surroundings. Understand that no personal property is worth losing your life over.
Police later learned the teenage suspect was staying in one of the hotels with his father after they traced a shell casing from the scene to a gun he reportedly used to commit another crime later that month. Now 17-year-old DeMarcus Dillon was arrested, charged, and eventually took a plea deal in that case, as his rap sheet grew to include more felonies stemming from a separate incident that September. Meanwhile, detectives continued reviewing security footage from the hotel.
Why are all the criminals young black males? What the hell is going on? Man, bruh. You might say, well, they ain't even show who the guy, his name is DeMarcus. He's black. He's a ninja. 100%. I going on every race equally, but right now it ain't looking. Look, hey, young black males are down 0-1 right now when it comes to Uber rider, when it comes to robbing Uber and Lyft vehicles. When it comes to pulling guns and killing them and doing all that, they down 0-1 right now. I ain't gonna hold you. Now the other races be doing other stuff. They be assaulting drivers and the women be getting in there and they'll tear your car up and they be getting in, eating food, and you tell them don't eat food in my car, and then they throw their drink on your face, but they won't kill you though. These dudes be shooting guns at y'all. You just driving a car, bruh.
Hotels and speaking with the Uber driver who said he was afraid for his life that day. Officer Drew Brown suggests rideshare drivers take advantage of in-app emergency features and call 911 right away if you feel you're in danger.
I could also recommend reaching out to a trusted family or friend, letting them know that you're going to be doing rideshare services in a certain area, and just being aware of your surroundings in general.
According to the problem...
You know what the cop really wanted to say? I'm going to tell you what this cop really wanted to say. I would suggest, I'm speaking for the cop now, I would suggest that you get your conceal and carry permit, right? And you totally neglect and or deny whatever the policy, because it's just a policy. It's not the law. Policy does not trump the law. What Uber's telling you to do is not the law. They can deactivate you from the platform, but you cannot go to jail for riding with a conceal and carry firearm while you're riding for Uber or Lyft. The most that can happen is you'll be deactivated, and they will deactivate you for less. You don't even have to do anything. A passenger can just say, oh, he assaulted me. He looked at me wrong, and I felt like I was being eye-graped. And they'll just deactivate you just based off of someone's word. You can pick up a woman or a man, and you can bring them from one place to another, and they could say, I was uncomfortable in his vehicle. He stared back at me like he was gonna do something and hurt me. That's all it has to be. It don't even have to be, they don't even have to actually say you touched them. And it'll be like, you'll just look at your account, it'll be like, cannot go online. What happened? So trust me, that's what the officer wants to say. All right, let's go to this last one.
And on to a crime alert tonight. A Lyft driver attacked and carjacked by her own passenger. Crime specialist Bridget Matter live now in North Miami with a rideshare scare. Bridget.
We spoke to that Lyft driver. She was terrified. She said it was her passenger that attacked her at the end of the ride, grabbing her from the back seat, then pulling her out of her.
I'm watching the number one Purdue against Memphis. It is a close game right now. I be multitasking. I love college basketball. It's upset alert. Memphis is up by 2 points with 8 minutes left. They fighting and battling right now. It's a crazy game.
Of her seat, throwing her on the ground and taking off with her car. Now North Miami police
The
are
referees
looking
look
for
like they're having a hard time.
A Lyft driver completing a ride in North Miami says she was carjacked. The woman, speaking in Spanish and too scared to show her face, said it was her passenger who attacked her.
She said that he punched her, he grabbed her from the back seat, pulled her out of the car, and then left in the car.
It happened Thursday afternoon in front of this community center off Griffin Boulevard. The victim was able to call 911. She also gave police rideshare app information of the passenger in hopes they can track him down. She said she felt very scared and showed us some marks where she was hit. North Miami police spent hours with the driver gathering information.
Everything's on that camera.
A surveillance camera on the outside of the building captured everything, possibly giving police a better look at their suspect.
That woman says that she did not see the suspect display any weapons. He did take off with her car, so police are also looking for a white Toyota Corolla.
And just based off of the statistics, it's probably likely that he was a young black male, possibly between the ages of 14 to 24. and we can assume, well, we know that it was probably a woman that got jacked. Two of the smallest demographics on the Lyft app are creating or involved in the crimes, mostly from what we've seen up to this point. But I want to pivot a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about some other things going on. Should we get into the game now? Are y'all ready for the game, or do y'all want to do... I think this is a good segue. Because we were talking about... You know, I think I'll leave that for last. The last thing we'll talk about is the women on women features. Do I got that pulled up? Yeah, that's gonna be good. We're gonna say that one for last. Should we go into the game? Did I have anything else? Nah. All right, let's do this one. All right, hold on. I think I got it. I wasn't going to talk about this. Y'all remember the 489-pound rapper that filed a lawsuit because she was not able to get into a Uber vehicle? Let's go ahead and check this one out real quick. We got to get into something a little lighter real quick. Let's move the frequency a little bit. This one's more comical than anything, but also had some legal implications. Check it out. Where my sound at? I ain't got sound?
What?
I know y'all shocked at what you just seen. It all makes sense.
Yeah, I got no space in my car is small. I can fit in this car. No, believe me, you can. Yes, I can. Believe me. So, I'm sorry. What I'm gonna do about my money? I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be charged. So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car? Yeah, you need to order a bigger car. What makes you think I can't fit in a car? Yeah, I'm sorry. What makes you think I can't fit in this car? Because the car is small in the back. My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
The Benz probably got better shocks.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car, so I gotta order another Lyft? And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires. What I got to do with your tires? Yeah, and you have no space. How you know I don't have no space? Yeah, I got no space in the back. How do you know I don't have no space? Because I tried before. Huh? Because I've been in this situation. So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car? Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL it's called. You know what? I don't never have to order an Uber XL. Then I'm really sorry. What's your name? Abraham Travis. Okay.
There's about 1,000 Abrahams on the Lyft app. Okay, so that's where the video ended. So what you're seeing here is some of the things that drivers have to go through that are less serious, where they're not getting shot at by young teenagers and having their life taken. But then you got a person that is this size. Huh? And Lyft sided with this person and put out a statement not even protecting the driver. Drivers getting shot, drivers getting assaulted, and we're going to look at some of that in a little bit. But right here, I'll pull the whole quote up so you can see it at the bottom. Some numbers in the way. But Lyft added, Mrs. Moss, we're disheartened to look at this driver's unacceptable behavior. Please DM us at your earliest convenience. For additional support, we'd like to address this as soon as possible. So you telling me that this woman right here that can't be anything shy of 450 pounds is trying to get into a Toyota Prius at best, is what it was looking like, that literally can't carry that payload of the size of her and he did nothing wrong, just said that I can't accept your ride and I have to cancel because my vehicle can't handle it. Lyft sides with this woman and sends out an immediate response. But the Afghan soldier that got clipped, they barely wanted to give him credit for making them money on their platform and being an excellent driver. Now, this case proceeded on for a while, and I don't know the exact resolution that they came up with, but Lyft profusely apologized to this woman and took her side when she should have been in an Uber XL, like the driver told her very politely. You can't fit in here, bruh. I would argue she shouldn't even be in an SUV. You got to be at least full truck. You need Suburban or better. Van or Suburban. I be watching my 600-pound life. I be watching and they be having to drive to go see, what's the doctor's name? You know the doctor. He be wearing the platinum, he be wearing the golded out stethoscope. He got the gold, Dr. Watanabe. Dr. Watanabe, bruh. They be having to go to Houston to see Watanabe every time that they have to take a van to drive out to Watanabe because most of them can't fit on planes, 600-pound life. They always get a van. Always. I ain't never seen them go to Watanabe's office in a little smart car. Look at the size of this guy's car, bro. Where's he at? We got the car. Look at how little his car is, bro. He's just trying to survive out here. He's just trying not to get shot. And they probably deactivated him for this. So when people are worried about, oh, I shouldn't carry a firearm in my waistband while I'm driving random strangers around that might shoot me in the back of the head while I'm driving, because I'm taking the way the GPS told me and they think they're being kidnapped, and that might be the last chance for me to save my own life, they'll deactivate you because you won't put somebody in your car that's 500 pounds. Y'all want to get into the game? Let's get into the TikTok game. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This is gonna be fun. All right, so we're about to play this TikTok game. All right, this is gonna be very, very fun. All right, so I pulled up a title on TikTok and I put it in. Not gonna tell y'all what the title is, but it pulls up all of these stories from on TikTok about Uber. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna randomly choose a story and then we're gonna react to it in real time. So I'm not gonna know any of these stories. Y'all aren't gonna know any of these stories. They're all gonna be random, and then we're gonna choose, and we're just gonna react to them. We're gonna rapid fire these. How many do y'all want to do? Do y'all want to go 3, 5, or 7? Why don't we go, let's go 5. Let's go 5, all right? And maybe we'll do like a bonus one if we like it. It's a brand new game. Let's see how it goes. All right. So let's go here. So I got it pulled up. I didn't want to do that. Hold on. Let me pull this back. All right. Let's get that there. I want to bring it down there. All right. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, pull this here, zoom this in a little bit. All right, let's go here. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna scroll up and down the page. I'm gonna scroll up and down. I'm gonna move the mouse over, okay? And I'm just gonna choose a story and then we're gonna react to it. I don't know what we're gonna get, all right? So let's do it now. All right, I got my eyes closed, scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. I don't know where we're at. Move the mouse around. All right, let's see what we got. What am I on? I'm not on anything. All right, I'm closest to this one. So let's see whatever she's about to say.
I need to share my story.
I don't want to do that. Go back.
I need to share my story. I would not be able.
Hold on. TikTok be weird on the actual web. All right, let me do it like this then. Here, I'll move this out first.
I need to share my story.
All right, there we go.
I would not be able to live with myself if this kept happening to women and I did not get this story out there. 6 years ago today, I called an Uber and did not get dropped off at my drop-off location. Instead, I was held for over 5 hours. Not only did this man hold me in his car for over 5 hours, also have now had three surgeries on my spine because of the damage that he caused. Right now, Uber is basically in a consolidated case in the Bay Area. They just had one of their cases come back with the verdict that Uber is not guilty. Because I just need to get this information out there. And I don't even know if I'm fucking allowed to say this, but I need to say this because if I'm protecting one woman, that's enough for me. My life for the past 6 years has been completely changed by this one fucking night. I have been on disability. I've been on unemployment for literally being in chronic pain so much that I cannot get out of bed. I have been in a wheelchair for over a year. I was doing ketamine infusions weekly for over a year. 6 years working on myself to get to this point where I'm able to talk about this. There are a lot of women, thousands actually, at this moment that are suing Uber for sexual assault or assault-related cases with Uber and Lyft and ride shares. Thousands at this moment. I am one of them. We're not hearing about this. If I can at least shed some light on what is happening for the thousands of women and people that have been affected by this, that are going through this, and they're currently losing their freaking minds like me, because one of their biggest marketing things is call an Uber if you're drinking, don't drive, call an Uber. That's what I did. Absolutely insane that when a woman speaks out about sexual assault, it's automatically tied and it becomes an identity, and it really shouldn't be. Just because someone is advocating for something does not become who they are. It does not mean that's the only thing they care about, the only thing going on in their life. I have a life. I've built a life in 6 years. I've built a life. Actually say that I truly enjoy now. I'm sitting in my bed comfortably with my dog and my candles on. This has been therapeutic for me. So there's many things I could say. I'm choosing not to say because I don't want the repercussions. It told me 6, 5, 4, 3 years ago that this is where I would be right now. I seriously wouldn't believe you. I have found so much comfort this past few years in learning how to love being with myself and truly love myself. The rewiring I had to do to get through what that caused me took years. It is still in progress. This is not something that will ever be forgotten. I'm going to be dealing with these physical issues with my back for the rest of my life. I've accepted that. I'm not asking for pity. I've actually realized that until you know how to suffer, you are only surviving. When you know the meaning behind suffering, that's when you're living. I don't know if this is going to reach anyone, but I'm going to try to edit together my story here. I hope you can take a second before you order an Uber or Lyft, especially if you're alone. Make sure you share your location with people because this happens a lot more than people think. So
what do y'all think about that? Random story. We picked it on TikTok and we let her get her whole story out. That was everything that she had to say. No interruptions. You can see over in the comments, it's a lot of other people that were possibly victims. I'm 83, and I've never called an Uber for this reason. Thank you for sharing. Uber is absolutely responsible since they are the ones that hire the people. I'm so sorry that victims are treated like this. Hang in there. It's one of the reasons I say that Uber is absolutely heartless. They're a heartless company. But their workers are not employees. And I don't know exactly how that makes a difference from a legal standpoint. But they're actually contracted out, which I think is a lot of the reason why they don't want to make these people employees. But what you have, okay, so the standard, or I guess the requirements to drive Uber and Lyft are not going to be the same as if you were an actual employee. Like, the checks aren't as extensive. The people that they hire for Uber and Lyft, they never, ever have an in-person interview. Everything is done online. All of it. Their whole hiring process, which is not even a hiring process, it's called onboarding because they don't hire anybody. It's just an onboard. They do it all online. You upload all your documents, and at the best, the only thing they're going to have that'll actually verify you is a facial scan. And even that doesn't matter because you can even find a way to get past that. She said something that was interesting. She said that people on Uber and Lyft, the people that use it, especially the women, they order these vehicles when they are extremely drunk and high or intoxicated, and then they rely on rideshare to take them home. I think that's a problem. I really do. I think that's a problem. And, you know, this woman, you know, she's there, and obviously, based off of what she's saying, we're just going based off of, you know, our initial, what she said. You know, it's her and her dog. So obviously, she's basically saying that she doesn't have people that she can get rides from and stuff like that. And that's fine. But if that's the case, and you don't have people that you can rely on to give you a ride, it's probably not the best idea to take a ride with a stranger back home. Taking a ride, and I won't say that Uber drivers are exactly at that point, at that level, but you do put your, like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I've had some really strange rides that were possibilities. And whenever I seen, okay, I'll give you an exact story. I'll give you an exact story of something like this. So I actually chose to ride at, like, I like to ride at night, right? I hated riding in the daytime, rush hour and all that stuff. So the majority of my rides were at night. And I was out, it was around like club let out. It was club let out. And I pulled up to the outside of a nightclub, and I was set to pick up a woman. And I'm usually always a little bit like, you know, I'm always watching my surroundings, just trying to see what's going on. Anytime I pick somebody up, I usually, you know, survey the area. I figure out the best place to park so I can see the person walking up to the vehicle, right? And all that, and all those different types of things. So it was a woman or whatever. She gets brought out to me being carried by the bouncer. He's got this tiny little woman in her arms, just like this. She's barely awake, drunk as hell. He got his phone, he got her phone in his hand, and he checks out my plates as he's carrying this woman. And again, I always got the doors locked. A lot of Uber drivers, I mean, I can give y'all a whole bunch of tips on how to be a more effective driver. The one thing you want to do is always have your doors locked. All right? And if anything's weird, at most, you roll down the window and you get the information that you need necessary. Because a lot of times people will just open your door, and then when they're already in your car, you're at a disadvantage, right? Because then they can do something. As long as you keep them out your car, you know, you can always pull off on them and get up out of there. So he comes up, I roll down the window, because he tried to get to the door. He tried to, like, you know, he opened the door, he tried to pull the door handle and it's locked. I roll down the window and, you know, he asked my name, and then, you know, I asked his name, and at first I didn't know it was the bouncer. I thought that, you know, possibly this was maybe her boyfriend. I mean, it looked like the bouncer because, you know, he had on like all black and all that, but it wasn't completely obvious. He like, yeah. And he asked me if I could help load her in. I was like, you know, because you're kind of shook at when stuff like this happens. Like, you're never actually prepared, right? Especially when it's the first time it happened. Like, if it happened again, I'd be more prepared, which is one of the reasons I do this stuff for y'all, because when we go through situations like this, it prepares us. I watched this really, really cool video about dreams, where a lot of the dreams that we have are actually in preparation for things that can happen in real life. Side story, but it's very interesting. I could talk to you about it later. So anyways, he asked me to load her in the car. I said, bro, I can't take this woman. In my head, I'm thinking about multiple things, but the one thing I'm sure about. She ain't gonna know how the hell she got to where she got, because I would have brought her home and nothing would have happened other than her probably throwing up in the back of my vehicle. She'd have got back to her destination. I don't know what would have been running into when I got her there. Because I probably would have had to pick her up out the back seat and set her on the stair or wherever she's at, the ground, the concrete, the staircase, her apartment door, her house door, and then just get up out of there. But here's the issue. When she woke up, she ain't gonna know how the hell she got there. And who knows what happened to her in the club or what anybody else did to her. I know I ain't gonna do nothing to her. I'm just gonna bring her to where she needs to go and leave her there. And that's it. Very gently and very kindly. However, she go back, she wake up in the morning, she trying to recollect the night before. She gonna be, how the hell did I get here? She gonna pull up her Uber app. This is my driver. Next thing you know, I'm on the news. But I said, like, nah, bro. Like, and look, the bouncer understood. He was like, I got you, bro. It's probably the right idea. He just wanted to get rid of her. He wanted to pawn her off on me because he didn't want to have to deal with her. But he understood when I was like, nah, I'm gonna cancel that one, bro. She'll get a full refund. I canceled it. I didn't take the cancellation fee. I could have got $5 for the I said, nah, I'm good. I don't want no fee. I don't want nothing. I want this to be like it never happened. And some driver probably came and picked her up and brought her to where she needed to go. But I said, nah, bro. No. I'm not going to be in a car alone with an intoxicated woman. I mean, at best, she was barely awake. She was like slumped in his arms. And he just trying to deliver her into the car with me and just go back to what he was doing as far as being a bouncer. That was a real situation that happened to me. And one of the lighter ones where I'm not going into crazy extreme detail. But, you know, I would never pick up an intoxicated woman. And I would suggest that any male rider or even woman rider should never do that under any circumstance. All right, let's go into another one. But shout out to this woman. I hope that she, is able to continue to recover from this. And Uber ain't gonna give you any retribution. It's been 6 years. She got nothing. But if they won't help out people that have been eliminated and murdered while driving Uber, trust me, you're not gonna get much further. All right, I'm gonna refresh this so I can make sure it works right. All right, let's do it again. How did I end up at the top? All right, let's try this again. All right, so we're gonna do some more. All right, I gotta close my eyes. Gotta scroll up and down. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm gonna go down a lot further though. Let's go up. Let's go down. Let's go up. Let's go down. Let's move the mouse around. All right, let's see what I'm on. What am I on? Okay, I don't know.
I shared an Uber and realized we were both headed to the same girl.
Oh, shit. All right, hold on.
I left this house party kind of tipsy.
Can you say my name?
I shared an
Hold on real quick. I got to zoom out now because it's
I shared an Uber and realized we were both headed to the same girl.
This one might be fun.
I left this house party kind of tipsy. So I did a ride share on Uber. Saved a few bucks, didn't think much of it. A guy got in with me, chill energy. Seemed cool. We just started talking during the ride. He goes, "You from around here?" I said, "Yeah, right off Pine Ridge." He goes, "Oh, crazy. I'm headed that way too." Still didn't think anything of it. Then he says, "Yeah, I'm supposed to link up with this girl I've been talking to. She told me to come through tonight." I just laughed and said, "She must live close to me then." He goes, "Yeah, I'll show you." She sent me the address. He pulls out his phone, opens the Uber app, and I swear to you, it was my house. At first I thought it was some kind of glitch. I was like, "Yo, that's literally my address." He looked at me confused, like, "Huh?" I said, "Who told you to come there?" He said her name. It was my girlfriend at the time. I ain't say nothing else, just let the Uber drive. We both pulled up. He started hesitating. I got out first. She opened the door, saw both of us, and her face said everything. She started stuttering, actually. Waited. "What are you doing here?" I said, you invited both of us, right?" Then I looked at the dude and said, "Don't even trip, bro. I didn't even know either. It wasn't a rideshare mistake. She was just sharing everything."
I don't get what the hell he's talking about.
I shared an Uber.
I thought he was going somewhere else with it. I thought he was going to say that because you can do shared rides on Uber, right? So a shared ride, basically, just to sum it up, is to make your ride cheaper. Let's say a ride would usually cost $15. Well, you can get that ride for $7, but on the way to your ride, Uber might pick somebody up that's going in a similar direction to you. So you could be on your way to the mall, and halfway on your way to the mall, it'll take a detour, pick somebody up that's going to the car dealership next to the mall. So now you're riding with a random stranger. Now you got 3 random strangers in the car. So basically, I thought he was saying that he got a woman that possibly took both of them. But anyways, so I don't understand this story. Even people in the comments are confused. Let me see if we can figure out what's going on. Wait, but you said your house, or am I tripping? How did she invite you to your house? Because I was being funny when I said it to that person. Oh. I was being funny when I actually said that to her. So it was her house. I don't know. This guy's confusing. I don't even know how to react to this because the whole story is just confusing. All right, this was weird, but I don't know. All right, that's 2 down. I don't know what the hell is going on. This dude is very weird, man. Like,
judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
It's some very strange people in the world. I learned that more and more as time goes on. All right, let's go ahead and figure it out. All right, we're doing it. I'm gonna get a new one. He just wasted our time with that stupid story. Let's see this one.
Are you Ben? Yes, I am. How are you doing today? Can you do me a favor? Can you move the seat forward because it's hitting my knees at this point? Yeah, no problem. Hold on. It's very uncomfortable. Is that better? Sorry about that. Well, there's no point in saying sorry. It was already, it was already pushing on my knees, but that's what most of you Uber drivers do anyway. I'm not trying to come off rude, but can you hold on? I didn't even put my seatbelt on, sir.
For someone not trying to come off as rude, she seems to be doing a horrible job at that so far. And this lady hasn't even been in the car for a full 60 seconds yet. It's literally been 30 seconds, and there's been nothing but complaints coming out of this person's mouth.
I want to tell y'all real quick, you might think this is a joke. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a skit. This is actually real from certain passengers. And I would say a fair percentage of them. If they're not actually doing this verbally, they're thinking it.
Amazed at how much you found to complain about within that time frame. Just an overall stellar first impression so far.
Can you please, I don't feel comfortable not wearing my seatbelt first. Can you, slow down? You in a rush? Because if you're in a rush, I'm going to panic. This right here is loose. This almost poked me. All right. This is broken. It's probably for my past clients. They were probably rough with the seatbelt. Well, you need to fix that because that could have stabbed me. And I wouldn't be happy if that happened.
Oh yeah, because you totally strike me as an already very happy person.
Are you bad?
His commentary was kind of funny. I like that. Yeah, you see the comments over there. This is what misery looks like. I mean, some people, that's one of the things about rideshare is you don't know who you are going to be riding with, man. People be coming in from some weird, messed up situations. I mean, this person obviously looks like they're not happy with their lives already. Then they get into your car and they want to begin to be angry with you. The only thing I'll say with him is, and he probably forgot, most of the time, you do want to have your front driver's side seat pulled all the way up. So if I was giving people a ride, and I also keep my seat back far because I'm not short. So my seat in whatever vehicle I'm in is usually all the way to the back. Like as far as you can slide the seat back is as far as I got it back. Then it's reclined as well. So with that, it's never going to be comfortable sitting behind me. I'll only pull it up if I have more than a couple of passengers or whatever. But the driver's side or the passenger seat in the front is always pulled all the way up to give them the most legroom possible, even if it's not necessary. So, he messed up there. But this woman is completely and utterly disrespectful and nasty. And, you get people like this, you want to cut your losses early. The only problem is, and here's the problem with Uber and Lyft, right? When somebody gets into your car, Uber and Lyft don't give the passengers any accountability. Like they don't have to upload their ID to the platform. You can usually use prepaid cards. There's really no way to identify these people. The majority of people don't even use dash cams, so you can get a visual of who these people are as far as seeing their face. And even after that, if you don't catch them on scene, there's usually going to be no follow-up to whatever they did to you because it's going to be a civil case, they messed your car up or something. But if he's to tell this woman, you know what, ride cancel, get out, she's more than likely going to assault him on the way out or destroy his car, right? She'll do something messed up on the way out. She'll break a window. She'll kick the seat. She'll spit on you. She'll, have something that she can use to damage your car. I don't know, she might have a bottle of nail polish or something like that and just pour it all over your seat. So it's damn, you're in a tough situation because it's Should I just deal with the attitude or should I kick her out now? You know, it puts you in a weird space, right? It really does. And that's where you can never know exactly what the right decision to make is. And I've been put in a lot of precarious situations in rideshare, and I can give you plenty of stories. And which is one of the reasons I said always have your door locked before you get in. Remind me to tell you how I deal with smokers. Remind me to tell you how I deal with smokers when I do rideshare. All right, let's do, what was that, 3? We got at least 2 more. Let's do 2 more. Okay. All right, let's see. All right. Scrolling. This is fun. I like this. This is fun. All right. Let's see. Let's move the mouse. All right, what are we on? I don't know what this is. What's up? That's what we're on.
What's your name? You need to tell me what your name is.
Well, you go first.
No. I need to make sure I have the right passenger. So can you tell me your name?
Well, I'm trying to play it safe, you know?
Well, you can check the license plate, make sure you have it's the right car. And you already know my make and model and color of my car. So did you check all that info in the app?
Yeah.
Okay, and? So what's your name? Tell me your name.
Well...
Why are you not, can you just tell me what your name is?
Well, can you just...
It's not that hard.
Can you just confirm your name?
No. It's not how it works. It's not... I'm not falling for the say my name trick. You need to tell me what your name is.
Well, I have my picture on the app. You can see it's me, too.
Okay, well, you just... Okay, fine. You're Rebecca.
Yeah, and you're Dylan?
Okay, jeez. Can you put your seatbelt on?
Just for that, I'm gonna rate you 1 star.
What? You're gonna rate me 1 star?
Yeah, I don't get why you're making such a hassle out of it.
Wow. That was crazy. All right. So to say my name. So we've heard stories, and I could pull up multiple of these stories where, especially out at bars during closing time, creeps and well, not so much pedophiles, but possible pedophiles as well. But, just people that are creeps or, grapists, essayers, those type of people, they'll go out in front of bars and they'll just kind of wait there and pretend that they're Uber or Lyft. And a lot of people will get into cars and assume that it's their car, or other times they'll try to scam you into giving them a ride or whatever the case is. It's a little more difficult to do it with Uber and Lyft because the address isn't going to match up, but then they could get in and say, oh no, that's not the right address, I need you to take me here. So it really could work out like that. So this would be the scenario from both sides. So the creep driver would be the one that gets you into his car, and then now you're in his car, he starts to drive, and then he takes you somewhere remote, and then he does something terrible to you. The flip side for the passenger is the passenger can get into the car, and then they ask for your name, and then you give them your name. Now they have all of your information because they've already scanned your plate and everything. And then, they can say, oh, that's not the right address, I need you to take me here. And then you'll take them somewhere for free or on somebody else's dime. So it can go both ways how you can be scammed. So a lot of the times for the driver, he has to, at minimum, get the name of the person. And the problem is Lyft and Uber really put you in a tough position, because if you get a low rating from a bad passenger, it affects everything. As far as you can be a perfect driver, but like this woman said, I'm gonna give you a 1 star, right? And then when you try to pick up other people, what happens? They actually look at your profile, at your rating, and he got a 4.2. Well, you're really just being aggressive in a way that you are trying to vet your passengers to make sure that you don't put yourself in a bad situation. But then that can come off as mean, aggressive, and then you can get docked for that, and people, begin to give you bad ratings. And you can even see it over here in the comments. I mean, You look right here in the comments. He's the type to call himself a nice guy. I'm with her. The driver needs to change the tone. He was so aggressive. And for what? He deserves that 1 star. He deserves the 1 star. That's not the way to ask politely. She's right, dude. You're making it such a hassle. Wow, Dylan, why so aggressive? Yeah, you deserve a 1 star. She's brave. I would have waited till I was getting out of the car to tell him he's getting a 1 star. See, for me, I think that the passenger's wrong. And I usually don't side with the normies. I think the passenger is wrong in this situation. Now, what she said is you can see my picture in the app. You do not have to put your picture in the app. Everybody knows that. Anybody that has the Uber app right now, I would say that the majority of you, Uber or Lyft, well, I don't know. I don't know what the number is. But you don't have to put your picture in the app. You don't have to. Yeah, I'm looking at my app right now. I don't even got my picture in there. It just lets you change your name and everything. I mean, that's crazy, bro. I view my profile. That's crazy, bro. Hold on. I'm about to show y'all. Look. Look at that. You don't got to put your picture in there. I don't got no picture in there. When I take Lyft, there's no picture in there at all. So that's cap. But as the rider, you're always supposed to check the license plate before you get into the vehicle and check the make and model. I didn't always ask people what their name was. Usually you can tell if somebody's shady. You got to have some type of, I don't know what you call it. I would say you got to have some type of awareness and like understanding of what's going on. Yeah. Hold on real quick. Let me see something. Okay. All right. So yeah, you know, but the simple fact that everybody's siding with the driver is less likely going to be the person that's going to be in the wrong in these situations, because the driver the passenger has to deal with one driver. The driver has to deal with tens of 20 of 30s of different passengers, possibly a day, depending on how you drive. So you got all these different personalities. One person might be weird, one person might be not, but I definitely like to at least verify the names because the picture is not always prevalent. All right, let's go ahead and check some more out. Let's see. See if we get a good one. Where are we at? We at 4? Is this 5 now? I like doing this. This is fun. We're going to have to do this again on something else, on another topic. All right, let's try this one. Where's my mouse at? No, I ain't doing that one. What is that? Yuck. All right, let's check this woman out. Why does it always do that? I got to refresh it. By the way, Uber on a website is terrible. Whatever, let's just check this out.
Hello.
How you doing? Good evening.
Hey. How y'all doing?
I'm already tell you what's wrong with this one. Bro got in the car with no car seat. Automatic, I can't take you. Automatic, you can't get. I'm not taking you nowhere without a car seat, bruh.
Come on, man.
You have a car seat?
Bitch, ain't you Uber? Drive.
Excuse me?
Ain't you Uber? Drive.
Sir, you have to have a car seat. It's policy.
Bitch, I'm gonna call another Uber.
Yeah, he gonna call another Uber, and some other Uber driver is gonna end up taking him because they're thirsty for the money. I would never ever take a child without a car seat under any circumstance. There's no way. And you also shouldn't take more than the amount of seatbelts that you have. So in her car, the most people that she can take is 4. Anything more than 4, you need a Uber XL, bruh.
Hi, how are you?
What's my name? Say my name.
What's that?
What's my name? Say my name.
Oh, no, you need to tell me what your name is.
No, you're supposed to tell me what my name is, so I don't get who's saying.
Another say my name.
Oh, what's your name?
No, I can't tell you that.
Okay, can you just tell me what my name is? You can look at check the license plate, and it'll match up on your phone.
Okay, but you could just tell me my name.
Well, you could be a strange, like you could be the wrong passenger. Like there could be, I could have the wrong one.
Okay, so if you say my name, then I know that. Well, what's your name?
But like anybody could say that it's your name, so like that's what I mean. So you gotta say my name.
This is so dumb.
You could say, huh? Okay, whatever. I don't care. I'll just get it. And that was annoying though, so you're probably gonna get a 1-star review, but.
A 1-star?
We can go. Yeah. My name's Patricia, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I have it on the app.
Okay, yeah. It's fine. It's just there.
Just put your seatbelt on, please.
I actually don't do that.
You don't do that?
I don't. Okay, jeez. 0 review, 0-star review.
I need 5-star. If I get one more low rating, I'm literally getting deactivated.
Low ratings, huh?
I'm literally gonna get fired.
I think this one's a skit. But honestly, I don't make people put their seatbelt on though. If you're in a rear seat, I don't think you have to have a seatbelt on, do you? If you're in a passenger, yeah. If you're in a rear seat, I don't care if you got your seatbelt on or not. Personally. That's just me though. All right, let me see. I'm just gonna pick like a couple more that I think are interesting. We picked a couple good ones though. Let's see. I don't want to look at no sexual assault ones. Let's stay away from those. Let's try to find some fun ones, like some funny ones. Cameras are for driver. Uber wants camera off. Driver kicks him out. All right, let's check this one out.
Hi, how you doing?
9 minutes?
Cancel the ride if you have a problem with the rate of the camera. I was just asking on local regulation. So I've already canceled it. You didn't get charged. You're a dick, man. People have places to go from point A to point B. And you think that you're not going to get a call from corporate about this one? Go ahead. I mean, it's your prerogative. What you like to do back and forth? No, this is your prerogative.
Bro gonna get deactivated though, for sure.
Is in the hands of the consumer. Well, this camera's supposed to protect us both, not just one person.
People hate taking L's. Just get out the car, bro. You lost. Then you record him. Then you took a picture of him, and he gonna take a picture of his license plate. And Uber will probably deactivate him for this. He'll probably be able to, show the video after they tell him to send the video, and they have AI look at it, and AI still deactivates him, and he gotta beg for an actual human to look at his video, and after like 2 weeks, they'll reactivate his account. But, he's gonna get cooked initially for this because they're always gonna believe the passenger first before the driver, because the passenger is who pays their bills, and they don't pay the drivers anything. But like, honestly, you're technically in public, right? How does that work? Because I know there's no expectation of privacy. What amendment is that? Is that the second? What's freedom of press? Is that the First Amendment? It's one of the amendments. I be forgetting the number of it. I know all the amendments, but I don't know the numbers of them. But I be knowing the amendments. Right to bear arms, all that stuff. Is that the 13th? All right, so but he's gonna get in trouble though for this if the passenger complains. But then he's got the evidence to back it up. But my question is it different when someone's in your vehicle and you're recording them? Like, is that considered not public anymore? You know, just thinking about it from like a... But then now this guy ended up on the internet for being a numbskull.
Thank you so much for the ride.
Before you go,
Yeah.
where'd you get your necklaces from?
Oh, my necklaces? That's actually so funny. I was filming a video right now, but these are all from Every Jewels, and they are like tarnish free. They're stainless steel.
What, are they expensive?
No, these were literally only $6.99. So I could like send you like the link through like
Send it
the
to
app after or whatever. But thanks again for the ride.
The hell was that? TikTok be OC. See this guy right here.
I'm not going to your house. I'm not going to your fucking house. I will say. I'm not going to your house. That was weird to say. No. Fuck no. And I'm calling the police on you. You're weird as fuck. No. That was the weirdest fucking interaction I've ever fucking had in my life. I'm not going to your house.
The hell? I think this was real. This the actual Uber right here that responded in the comments. Oh, let me see something. Uber support team here. We appreciate your patience while we investigate this incident. This type of behavior is unacceptable. The driver has been permanently deactivated from the Uber platform, bro. Oh my God, bro. We don't even know what happened. This is what I be talking about. We see a clip where the driver, as far as we know, didn't do anything wrong. Hold on, let me look at this again. Let me make sure I'm looking at this right, because I didn't see anything that said that the driver did anything wrong. She was able to leave the car without incident. Let me see something real quick. Let's watch it.
I'm not going to your house. I'm not going to your fucking house. I will say. I'm not going to your house. That was weird to say. No. Fuck no. And I'm calling the police on you. You're weird as fuck. No. That was the weirdest fucking interaction.
What do you mean?
That's what I be talking about with Uber, man. I'm not saying that what she's saying happened didn't happen. I'm just saying by what we seen, we can't prove that what she's saying happened. That's it. She started recording after he allegedly said he was going to kidnap her and take her to her house. But for some reason, he was parked and let her out of the vehicle and denied everything that she said happened. So how you going to just take her side by default and then deactivate bruh? Man. Listen, this is crazy. My bad. I wasn't even looking at the comments, y'all. I've been zoning out. Let me get to a couple of the comments real quick. Uber? We're going to check out a couple more. I got a couple other stories we got to get to. Hold on real quick. What do we have? Wow, there's actually a weight limit on the apps for the cars. I've never seen anything like that before. Are you talking about the rapper? The rapper woman. Hold on, where was that one at? Talking about where'd she go? Talking about this woman. Do we have her? Where'd she go? This woman literally went to litigation with Uber. This her right here in court. You're talking about this woman. That was like a million pounds. That tried to get in a little smart car. This woman right here. Yeah. There's not a weight limit. There's not a weight limit for the car. She just can't fit in a little compact vehicle. So there's not technically, the weight limit would only be what his car could handle. But she would have put so much stress on his vehicle and possibly damaged the vehicle getting in or out. Have you ever putting her in, it's gonna wear his vehicle. I mean, she might even pop the tires on. Like, he was right for not letting her in her car. That's the simplest way to put it. Absolutely 100%. Absolutely 100%. My bad. Let me get over. Let me get you, Lee. Healthcare bills must be high since she talking about a lawsuit. She is saying her essay put her in a wheelchair. Yeah, you were talking about the first one that we looked at. You were talking about the first one that we looked at, where the woman got into that Uber car and then she was assaulted. Where do we have her at? That was this woman right here.
I need to share my story.
You were talking about this woman. Yeah. And my bad for getting to your comment late. I've been zoning out this stream. Like, all of this is very interesting to me. Like 100%. Very interesting to me. So, you know, I like talking about this stuff. But yeah, yeah, possibly in the hundreds of thousands, honestly, if she doesn't have healthcare. I mean, this is a time where you almost want to be broke if you're this woman and be able to have like government healthcare, because if you're on like a plan where you have to have co-pays or you got to pay for your own insurance or you don't have insurance, like, yeah, you could be hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And assuming she can prove what happened to her, which I'm assuming that she can in this situation, 100% Uber should take care of her medical costs. This is what comes along with placing complete strangers together without proper vetting the people that are on the platform. Now, this woman would be the one that would be less vetted, but even the drivers are not vetted properly to be onboarded onto these platforms. It's super easy, and you got lead delivery, so you might even be a little more well-versed in what's going on in these delivery services, whether it be Uber and Lyft or even like a DoorDash or Uber Eats or a Roadie or a Spark. Amazon Flex, which I would probably say is the most secure out of all of them. Amazon Flex. I believe with Amazon Flex, when you go to pick up the packages, you actually have to show your ID to take delivery of the packages that you are going to be delivering to the people. But all the other platforms and apps, I mean, super easy to get onboarded, and you can absolutely go there with a stolen identity and create a profile, and it's been like that since its inception. So yeah, I mean, you know, this woman, for all intents and purposes, is probably going to be in debt forever. You know, if she didn't have any type of insurance to cover her injuries and pain and suffering. She might even be in therapy too, ongoing for the rest of her life. So yeah, that's tough. It's absolutely tough. Let's see, what do we got? Did you show the casino video already? Nah, that was a story. The casino video, that was a story that I've been through. Okay, so I'll give it to you real quick. So with the casinos, you never want to, this was me just giving advice more or less, or just explaining so people understand that when you are when you're a driver, you never want to pick somebody up from the casino. And the reason why is because, okay, so this is a story that I had from the casino, and I'll give you a light one. I try not to get into some of the more like telling stories all the time, but I'll give you a light one because I've had more than one. So a light one is this. And it's the reason why you never want to pick up anybody from the casino. The first thing about it is this. Almost always they lost all of their money. Hold on, I want to get this woman off the screen real quick. Here, I'll pull this back up right here. So almost always when you're picking somebody up at a casino, they lost all their money. Now, on the off chance that they're one of the top 1% that won a whole bunch of money, well, then you just hit the jackpot. Because if you pick somebody up that just made a whole bunch of money at the casino, expect your tip to be large and in charge. But that's not usually the case. Usually the case is you're picking somebody up that lost everything. They lost all their money. So, okay, I pick up this one couple. Was it a couple? Yeah, it was a couple. No, it was three of them. They just got done into casino and they all got destroyed. They all lost all their money at the casino, right? And so I pick them up and they all get in the car and they're just like, you can just feel the energy. Like I was excited when I got in there. It was late. It was probably like 1 a.m. And you know, the casino's far away from everything. So their ride back is like a 40-minute ride. Because the casino's usually way out, right? Depending on where you live. This is Mystic Lake Casino in Minnesota. The biggest casino in Minnesota, Mystic Lake. If you ever come to Minnesota, you'll probably end up at Mystic Lake if you go to a casino. Very, very big and prestigious casino. They hold a lot of big venues there. A lot of performances. Big artists come there and perform. Mystic Lake. Okay, so picked them up. They get in the car. They're all just destroyed, right? They all lost all their money. And so they get in the car and their ride was actually a lot, right? It was probably like it paid me like $60 for the ride. It paid me that much. So they probably paid like $120. So they were already like in the car, like arguing with each other about who was gonna cover which, like how they were gonna split up the ride and all that. He like, I just lost all my motherfucking money. I can't pay you back for the ride. So they back there arguing. Now they got in the car with food too. So they're arguing not only about who's gonna pay for the Uber, who's gonna get reimbursed. It went on somebody's card to begin with, but then like the other two needed to, pay their third of it. So they're arguing about that. They got food back there, but one person had food. So they're arguing about the food because they've been in the casino like zombies, playing slots and blackjack, getting drunk and drinking a whole bunch of soda. Anybody that's been to a casino, and some haven't, they give you endless amounts of soda at the casino. They just got soda dispensers everywhere. They got no clocks because they don't want you to know what time it is in the casino. So you'll never see any type of clock in the casino. And it's always really cold in there because they want to keep you up. But they got pop everywhere. Pop and coffee. You can get it at the casino. If you ever want to get some pop or you ever want to get some coffee and you wanted to get it free and you're anywhere near a casino, just go in there and help yourself. It's a pop and coffee buffet. So they come out, right? Arguing over who's going to pay the bill, arguing over the pop. They start talking to me. They start telling me how they lost all their money. So I'm like, yeah, that sucks. And I'm just already knowing I ain't getting no tip. Like I just chalked that up. Second they got in the car and I felt their attitude and their energy and how upset they were. Not necessarily at me. They were just talking to me like whatever, you know what I'm saying? They were more angry with each other because they were like mad. Like I think they were playing blackjack and slots. But two of them were playing blackjack together, and it was two guys and one guy and two girls, two women, older black people, and so I guess one of them, there was a playing blackjack. They either split or someone hit. It was either a split or they hit, but they messed up and busted the whole table on a big hand, and that was where they lost the majority of their money. It was like a $400 hand because I think there was a split and everybody told the woman not to hit, to stay, but she hit anyways. And if she hadn't of, the dealer would have busted it. It was one of those type of situations. So they're mad and angry about that. And you motherfucker, and he, you know what I'm saying? They going in on each other, calling each other bitches and bitch ass niggas and all this shit. So look, I'm giving it to y'all real. I don't even cuss, but look, I'm just telling the story. When I get into stories, I just tell it how it is. Usually I would actually not even said those words, but like, this is how they're going in the back seat, right? So we're driving. This is a long drive too. This is because I got it was like a $60 ride for me. So we drove probably for like 40 something minutes to get back to their house. So we're like on the way back or whatever. They're arguing and they didn't have any more money on their card, but they had cash at the house. And this was around tax time. So the woman and them, they didn't want to pay the actual, because the Uber ride was a lot, right? If I got 60, the Uber ride was probably like 120 or something, 130 or something like that, because Uber damn near pays you like half. So she like, yo, is there any way that you can bring me back? Right? So this is when they started getting mad at me. They started getting mad at me because I didn't want to take them back. These people are insufferable, miserable human beings, right? So they didn't want to pay Uber they didn't want to pay the extra for Uber. So they're like, can we just pay you up front? I think they might even ask me how much I got. I think that's where it came to. They was like, how much you getting paid for this? And I told them, I don't care. Like, I'll tell you, I was like, I'm getting 60 for this. And they're like, for real, Uber done charge me like $120 for this. So that's why they ended up asking me if I could just drive them back. Well, they're like, well, we'll just give you cash and you could bring us back out there, because they're fucking idiots. So they wanted to go back out there. Sorry, I'm cussing, but I'm in the whole, like, I'm in the story now. So they wanted to go back out there and lose more of their money like idiots. Drunken cost fallacy. Sunken cost fallacy, I mean. Sunken cost fallacy means you can't cut your losses. You continue to try to dig yourself out of the hole and you dig yourself deeper in the hole. At some point, you just got to say, I lost 500. That's cool. But a gambler with sunken cost fallacy syndrome, he believes that he can get back even. So he's like, well, all I got to do is just make one bet of 500 and then I can get back even. But then he goes in there and he loses that 500 he thought he was going to get even with. Now he's down 1,000. And then he's like, you know what? I'll just bet 1,500. And then if I win that, I'll be up 500. And then he loses that. And next thing you know, you're down 10 grand. It's a syndrome that you can have when you get into gambling too much. And that's what they were going through. Sunken costs. They weren't willing to give up. They should have went home, went to sleep, and recalibrated. But they wanted to take a ride back. So I'm like, and I told them straight up, because I'm very honest. There's one thing I don't do, it's lie. DotSale does not, I'm very transparent. The only time I would tell something like that is if it was going to put me in danger or something, but I didn't care at that point. I'm like, I'm not taking y'all back because I don't want to come back out 40 minutes into the casino. And from a logistics standpoint, me going back to the casino, it's not likely that I get a ride that's going back the way that I'm trying to go, because luckily their ride actually took me, I was only like probably like 10 minutes out of where I needed to go anyways. So it was really a great ride for me, where they could have been going up north when I need to go south. So it's like, it would have been a bad situation for me. I would have lost money. So I told them like, nah, like y'all way too far out the way. So they take their anger out on me. They weren't super aggressive with it, but they were like, oh, really? Like, yeah. Then they get on the phone and they start calling people, trying to get rides out there and all that. Because they didn't have no money. They didn't have no more money on their card. All their money was in cash. So they weren't able to order another Uber. And that's the reason that they told me that they wanted to pay me in cash. But really, they were just trying to avoid the Uber fee and use me as their personal taxi. But they didn't want to pay me what they were paying Uber. If they would have told me, well, you know, if we come back out here, we got to pay Uber $120 anyways, so we'll just give you the $120 in cash, I probably would have did it, because then it would have made sense. But you really just want me to take The only person that wins in that situation is you. You're basically getting your ride half off, but in any other circumstance, you have to pay full price. So at least you could have been like, look, Uber's charging us $120, we'll throw you $100. They like, nah, can we just give you like $50 to take us back out? I'm like, hell no. So they get mad at me or whatever, right? People in the backseat, they're arguing with each other. They got an attitude with me. And so I ended up taking them back. They gave me all kind of attitude the rest of the way back. Very awkward ride. You know, when you're just with somebody, you know there's animosity in the car. You can just feel it. It's super uncomfortable. Everybody's kind of just, because if I'd have told them yes, they'd have been all happy and all that, and we'd have had a great ride. But I told them no. And this is like 10 minutes into like a 30-minute trip. So I told them no straight up, firmly. And now I got to ride with them knowing that they're upset and angry. I'm like, these people are going to give me a 1-star. I know I ain't getting no tip. So that's already out the question. And, you know, I probably should have got like a $20 tip just based off of it. Smelled like food in the car. They had like some nasty chicken wings and fries and hot sauce. But the good thing about it, they didn't give me a 1-star. I don't even think they rated me at all. They just didn't rate me at all. Or they gave me 5 stars, but I didn't get any hit. I know that. So, but they didn't give me a tip. I did not get a tip. And I expected that because they were broke. Well, they lost all their money at the casino. So more than likely I dropped them off, and then they ended up paying $120 to go back out to the casino. And then they lost more money there. And then the second driver that picked them up had it even worse than me. But yeah, so never ever pick somebody up from the casino. Most of the time they're getting in the car, they're broke, they're angry. And I got more stories about the casino, but we actually got to wrap it up soon. How long have I been on for? I'm at 2 hours. Wow. I still got a whole bunch more I want to go through. Oh, let me close this. All right, hold on real quick. Let me see. Do I got anything else I want to get to? I didn't even get to the drivers. All right, hold on. Let me see. I had the women drivers. All right, let's look at this real quick.
I just really appreciate the environment to be able to openly talk with you and hearing about our concerns.
Ebony Echevarria has been an Uber driver for nearly a year in Chicago.
It only took a couple months into driving that I had a passenger touch me inappropriately while driving on the highway at night. Continued trying to push once when we got to the location.
With that male passenger experience in mind, Echevarria says this new Uber feature is a step in the right direction when it comes to safety. Watch how it works. Female drivers can choose a woman driver and be matched with one. Women drivers can also turn on a feature to choose only female passengers as well. Echevarria also drives for Lyft, which already had that option in place.
I did turn on the female priority the moment I applied to that app, and I've never turned it off.
Uber spokesperson Brooke Anderson says the women's drivers feature started in July in several cities.
At this point, the feedback that we're getting is that women like it. They like having this option. They're providing higher satisfaction ratings on these trips. And so we're getting to a place where we're confident enough to kind of expand it to more cities across the U.S.
A CBS Chicago analysis found 89 reported rideshare crimes so far this year. 7 were violent crimes. Security expert and retired first deputy superintendent of Chicago Police, Anthony Riccio, sees the feature as a good thing. Riccio says there were often rideshare incidents reported during his tenure.
This is in response to a problem that's really nationwide, where rideshare drivers prey upon women who are in their vehicles. And although it's not...
I really feel like Riccio is very, very smart. And y'all might be wondering how I got to this point and how I understood or figured that out. But I have my ways. This man right here is very intelligent.
It's not common, it's way too frequent.
Rideshare driver Echevarria is also a member of the nonprofit Illinois Drivers Alliance. The organization is dedicated to improving working conditions and ensuring a fair industry for rideshare drivers.
I believe that the most important thing that we can do is continue a dialogue where there is an open pathway for us to make this job safer and safer and make it safer and safer to be a rider no matter what age you are.
The new feature also allows parents to match teens with women drivers. In the Loop, Suzanne Lemignot, CBS News, Chicago.
Okay, so this
Inappropriately.
Now, this part right here is true.
A passenger touched me inappropriately.
So I'm gonna say this, y'all, and I know, like, you know, people don't think it happens the other way, but I've been in multiple situations where I've been hit on by women as a Lyft and Uber driver. Multiple. A lot. I'm telling you right now. And I'll tell you the reason why. I'll tell you the reason why I get hit on by women passengers a lot. I think it has somewhat to do with me, right? And the reason why it has to do with me is because a lot of the Uber drivers are either, they're like foreigners and they're just like kind of culturally in a whole different space. They're older people. So a lot of times I get told, you're one of the youngest Uber drivers I had, like blah, 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 blah. And they see my picture, right? So they see my picture and the thing. And then, you know, also, you know, I communicate, right? Like, I want to show y'all my app. Listen, I can't do it now. I mean, I can. I'll give y'all a quick, all right, I'm gonna give you, matter of fact, before I end this, after this, I'm gonna show y'all one quick thing. I'm gonna show y'all my rating. Can I do it? Hold on real quick, let me see. I'm gonna show y'all my rating. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can just pull up this. Because I want to look at something. I'm gonna have to show y'all next time. Because I don't know if I can show you without, like, giving. Oh, I guess I could just show that part. Damn. Yeah, it's been a minute. I got a lot of rides that I did. They were all in clusters, though. Because the last time, so I was doing Lyft in like 16, 17, 18. It was basically before COVID. When COVID started, I never really did it anymore after that, like a few times. But COVID basically like killed it for me. And it wasn't because I was scared of the virus or anything. It was just like, whatever. But anyways, okay, so, you know what? I'ma chill. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go. She's not lying, though. She's not lying. Okay, hold on. No, my main point was this. All right, so this feature is crazy. Now, here's the reason why. So women on a Lyft app you can get plenty of passengers that are riding Uber and Lyft, right? But there's not as many women drivers. So if the woman is a passenger and she wants only women drivers, she's gonna be waiting a long time for a ride, bro. She's gonna be waiting a long time for a ride. You might be waiting like an hour to get a match if you only want a woman to pick you up. Because they're gonna represent probably about 20% of the drivers. Did I have the numbers? I think I had the numbers pulled up. Uber, drivers. I did have the numbers pulled up. I got you right here. So I'm always prepared. I mean, I knew this already, but I pulled it up just because I want to show y'all. Let's use ChatGTP for it. Hold on. Okay, so right here. You can see right here. So, yeah, that's it. Drivers for Lyft, drivers for Uber. 20% women for Uber drivers. 20% women. So 1 out of every 5 drivers is a woman. All right. And then on Lyft, which I think more women actually prefer Lyft, 23%. 23% are women drivers. So 1 in 5 basically is the chance that you're going to get picked up by a woman. And it says that the riders are 50-50. I don't even think that's accurate. I know that the drivers are. I don't know how they got the statistics for the woman, because I would say, like, as me driving, I would say it's probably like 70% women that take Ubers over men. Like it's pretty much like, it's at least like, I gotta say it's 70-30 for the riders that are women. But, you know, whatever. The numbers are saying it's not, so we'll just go with that. Whatever, it's saying 50%. Fair enough. Okay. So, you know what? I can't get into those stories. Not right now. I don't have time, because I'm gonna go into a whole nother thing, and I got a basketball game coming up in like literally 45 minutes. So I gotta go. No, I'm literally like, I gotta like, y'all think I just be saying stuff. I got you. I got it right here. I'm about to show y'all. Y'all be thinking I just be saying stuff. I know y'all don't. I know y'all believe me. I got it right here. I just sent this to my group. You can see I highlighted it right there. It ain't gonna really show up. Hold on. You gotta let it zoom in. You can see the bracket. You ain't really gonna be able to see the teams. I got it. Oh, it's right there. All right, look. You can see my team down there. Right there. We play in like 45 minutes. I gotta go. I don't even want to go. I would live stream for another like 3 or 4 hours right now. Like, I didn't even get to everything. I wanted to finish this up because I had a whole bunch of commentary for the women on women riders in this whole situation. Man, y'all, I don't know. I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream soon. I think over the holidays, I think I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream. When I ain't got nothing to do, 24-hour stream for y'all. I like hanging out with y'all doing this. T. Kelton with a whole bunch of 9s. Yeah, I saw that they had started being able to choose female-only drivers to make them feel safer. I wonder how that's going for them. Well, I was going to give you stories about how aggressive women are. I'm not trying to go in on the ladies right now. That was not the point of this. I'm not trying to expose the ladies on how they be acting when they are passengers. But if you knew that as many times as but she says that she's been groped and assaulted, that woman, by the men. They might think that that's a man problem, like the men groping the women. Trust me, it's not. Not for all of us. Definitely it wasn't for me. It was the reverse. I never had a man try to grope me. Not once. I had a few gay dudes in there, though. They were kind of a little strange. But pretty respectful for the most part. Second, I let them know it ain't like that. They was like, all right, we good. But the women be aggressive, bruh. The women be aggressive. We'll probably do a part 3 to this at some point. I got more I want to talk about. I like this topic. I like the rideshare topic. I got to go, y'all. Where's my story at? We got to end on a positive note still. I don't even know where it's at. Do I got it? I didn't pull it up. Let me find it.
Tinley Park woman is turning her own birthday into a reason to give back. She's paying it forward with this powerful act of kindness.
Now, she didn't expect us to do this story. She was just doing this to do it, but we caught her doing it. This year, she and her daughter handed out breakfast bags to commuters, and each one with a thoughtful message dedicated to a victim of the flooding in Texas. NBC5's Christian Farr shows us how this small gesture is having a big impact.
We're giving to-go bags, just a little treat and a token.
This afternoon, Carrie Hamilton and her daughter, Kendall, picked up where they left off this morning in Tinley Park by passing out breakfast bags to people waiting to catch the train.
You decided to hand these bags out because it was your birthday, but it wasn't for a gift. You wanted to give a gift to other people.
Yes. So 2 years ago, I went through a traumatic situation and basically faced death. And when you get through a life and death situation, you look at life a little different.
So how did you come up with the idea of doing these breakfast bags?
So I know that like the train station, everyone's on the go, and everybody's, most people don't eat breakfast just because they're running out the door or woke up late.
Carrie and her daughter wanted to do more than just hand out these breakfast bags. They wanted to remember the more than 100 victims impacted by the flooding in Texas.
My daughter and I, we printed out every single victim's photo. So each bag has a different individual. We wrote their name on the bag, and then we figured that each individual that we give these bags to, as they enjoy breakfast, that they would also take a moment of silence and or pray for the victims' families.
Did you help pack these?
Yes.
How long did it take?
Maybe a few hours or so.
How did you feel packing them?
I felt good.
Carrie and her daughter plan to keep this going for years to come.
What are you going to do next year, or have you even thought about it?
I have not even thought about it because I try to do like to the date type things that, make a difference. But I know I'm going to do something.
In Tinley Park, Christian Farr, NBC5 News.
She is such an inspiration, and I want to thank our producer, Jana, who actually received one of the bags on the way in, and she shared it with me. And so say a prayer for Fina Dunlap. But it's such a small gesture, but such a beautiful way to really remember the people who have lost their lives and their families who are grieving that loss.
Yeah. Shout out to this woman. There needs to be more like her in the world. Showing her daughter the right way to do things. And giving on her birthday, where everybody wants to receive, and it's my birthday, I can cry if I want to, cry if I want to. No, you can give if you want to, but you choose not to, because you're always trying to take and be a succubus. But leeches, they don't prosper. But people that give, they receive back abundance. I see this story as one where I can be inspired to be helpful to others. And I hope that I was helpful to y'all in this stream. I hope that this was a good conversation and it was beneficial, even in the slightest. Because I absolutely appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best audience on the planet. I gotta go. I gotta go get buckets. I can't wait. More than likely, on paper, we're supposed to lose tonight. But I'm gonna try to will us to a victory. I'm gonna do my best. We played this team earlier in the season and they beat us by 32. But I didn't play in that game. So they ain't expecting what I'm gonna bring. I don't know. I just love the challenge. I don't really care about winning or losing. I just want to make sure I go out there and get my best. And I'll live with the results. I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.